This is Infection, the survival podcast, recorded live on Tuesday, March 7th, 2017, episode 112. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Infection, the survival podcast. Infection is your source for the latest information on survival video games. We bring you the latest news, reviews, updates, and more each and every week. My name is Nick Craig, at Nicholas M. Craig is my Twitter. InfectionPodcast.com is the website. Joining me for the final show before PAX East, Brian Aldridge. Hey, Brian.
Final show before we say we're sick of each other from hanging out too much, and then this will be our final show, I'm sure.
I hope. One can hope, right?
Yeah. Hey, if you want to find me on the internet, you're more than welcome to go to @BoiseComputer on Twitter, or if you want to go to my blog, biteoftech.com. Also, if you haven't joined our Discord, actually had somebody who joined Discord just in the last 2 days. They messaged me on there, say I've listened to the show for a long time. But, this is their first time getting into Discord. So if you haven't gotten into our Discord yet, go to our website, infectionpodcast.com. Just click on the right-hand side. You will see a list of our channels in Discord, and then I think it's Connect, if I remember correctly. You click that,
something like that.
It'll launch Discord, and it'll permanently put you into that channel. So we have conversations going all throughout the week. Also, we have our Steam group, which gives notifications of our live show. And make sure you follow us on Twitter. We're going to be doing a lot of things from PAX. And so if you want to get notifications of maybe things we see or maybe some live broadcasts, make sure you follow us on Twitter, because I'm assuming we're going to be tweeting those things out as they happen. And we're going to try to do a live one there as well.
Yeah, so, well, I guess we can pull this up 2 days. And we'll actually be there.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll be there in 2 days. Flying in Thursday.
Point of no return.
Yes. Infectionpodcast.com/PAX. If you feel the need to throw us a couple dollars, you can do that over there. We are set. We are rocking.
This amount
rolling.
Covered our hotel
it
perfectly,
did.
Though. So that was wonderful.
Of course, we appreciate everybody that took part in our fundraising efforts. We greatly appreciate it. The trip literally would not have happened without the generosity of our viewers here. So appreciate to everyone that donated throughout the past 6 months or however long it's been since we started promoting this
whole thing a while.
So we're thankful to everyone that did that. A few other quick housekeeping things before we go. Of course, like Brian said, follow us on Twitter for that. Make sure you're following us on Twitch as well. If some people just come here every week and they're not actually following us on Twitch, make sure you do that. There may be they have a mobile app, Twitch. Somebody makes a mobile app for Twitch now. Somebody makes an app called Twitch IRL. It allows you to stream from your iPhone, or like an Android phone. So we'll try that. If that doesn't prevail, then we'll try something like Periscope or Meerkat or one of those services. So follow us on social network. It's only two. It's Twitch and Twitter. Follow us there, and you'll be able to get notifications with all of that stuff. We're all set. We're ready to go. All of our ducks are in a row. We just need to all get there, and then we'll be set.
And Nick, so it gives us weather updates. He's like, prepare for snow.
Yes, prepare for snow. Probably it could be a couple inches of snow Saturday. So we'll see what happens.
I still got to pack.
Yeah, so do I.
I gotta.
I'm.
Do all that, so.
I'm. This is midterm week, so I'm very. There's a lot of. There's way too many things going on. So let me jump into my misfortunes before Infection. I tried installing a Chinese application by the name of QQ to try to do some investigative reporting on what has been going on with all the hackers inside of H1Z1. I guess QQ is some messaging application that is it's kind of like Discord or AIM or something like that. It's a chat service, and you can join chat rooms and so on and so forth. So I tried installing it. Actually, I did install it, and I think that was the problem. I installed it. Everything was in Chinese. It installed QQ donation number 1. Thank you for thanks for the $10. I tried
our new sponsor, QQ. Thank you, QQ.
Tried doing all of that stuff. I installed it. It totally effed up my computer. it installed like 20 applications. Everything was in Chinese. I couldn't uninstall it. This was at like 6:40. So it was very, very short note. But here's the thing. It came from a place of, it was a good-hearted place where this came from. I was just trying to do some investigations before the show. And what did I learn, Brian? Never do that much show prep again, ever. Never waste my time. Don't bother. Just show up.
Yeah. Especially before the show starts.
Yeah. So now, like, my Windows is all effed up. Hopefully, I don't have to reinstall Windows. That would be a real pain.
Okay. So I'll put my professional hat on. Just make sure that nothing is encrypting your files.
Yes. Which this is a widely used. This isn't like a virus. This is a widely used application.
They just install all their
their
stuff.
like like if in the problem is if it's in English, I can uncheck like install the toolbar, install this other garbage. When it's in Chinese,
and you'd be like, oh no. The thing is you don't, and then all their buttons are opposite.
Yes.
So when you think you're clicking no, you're clicking yes.
That's exactly what happened.
You just need a good Chinese person in your life that can read those things to you.
It's a legit program. It's just with Chinese bloatware. So hopefully everything is fine here. If there's no if the show doesn't go up, you know why. I've been compromised by Chinese
hackers. You cannot
hackers.
copy files out of your hard drive.
Brian, stop! You're really stressing me out. It's not funny. My heart is racing. So the reason I installed this application is because I was on Twitter at 12:30 my time. I'm scrolling through my personal Twitter feed, and of course I follow Infection on my personal Twitter feed, and the Infection logo pops up. I'm like, whoa. Oh, what's going on? So I scroll back, and Brian is going on late night Twitter rants about H1Z1. Brian, why don't you?
Yes.
What's going on? Why do you hate H1Z1? Why are you complaining at midnight about H1Z1?
All right. So my wife decided that she was working late last night, so she ended up working late. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go play one game of H1 and just
no one ever
test the waters, right? Just see how it goes. And so I go do one game. I'm going and looting. First person I run into is a hacker. And the reason I say this is, I'm wearing a helmet. It's just a two tap. The two taps where they don't even bother.
Yes.
Trying to fire again. It's just he's really far away. He just goes tap tap, and I'm instantly dead. I've got body armor on. I got a helmet on. It's not supposed to happen like that. And so I'm frustrated. And I go on to Pons is now Pons changed his name to Pons, and I go and watch him for a while and just kind of see he's dealing with the same thing of just struggling through the hackers. And so I did a little bit of research today and last night. The number of hacks going on right now is ridiculous. I'm not going to say it's like never before, because we've seen when it was like this before, of just constant, a high percentage of the people you run into in game are hacking. And I think we're approaching that right now. And I don't know why. I don't know if it's something they changed in the code or if they're just kind of on break because of whatever's going on and they're not keeping up with it. But it's pretty bad. And so I actually went and looked. If you search for March 2017 H1Z1 hacks, instantly in Google, there's 5 results of different hacks that you can purchase right now that are accurate, that work as of today.
And that was the reason of my investigative reporting is, so this actually all goes back to a Reddit, not a Reddit post. This all goes back to the leaderboards being turned off on H1Z1, which happened earlier today. And going through Reddit, I was able to find images of, or I was able to find the old leaderboards, exactly, some previous leaderboards. And this leaderboard is, I don't know, the top name is QQN, which is the name of that chat service, and then a bunch of numbers. That user has, its highest kill game is 39 kills. Its win rate is 23%, and its top 10 finishes rate is 27. And it's a kill. It's this user's kill to match ratio is 14.23. The second user, which is another one of these QQN, a whole bunch of numbers, highest kill game 40, win rate 15, top 10 finish rate 20, kill to match ratio 7.2. And I was talking to PHVCK in Discord, and he was saying those people on the leaderboards, those numbers, the chat rooms, are where they're literally just selling exploits and cheats for the game in their chat room, and they're leading the leaderboards for H1Z1 King of the Kill.
Yep.
So, I was like, hey man, I'm a professional. I can do some investigation.
I'm gonna wing this.
Yeah,
because I don't
I'm gonna wing
understand
this.
the word they're saying.
So, but
hi, me want hacky.
wow, I'm not gonna touch that with a 20-foot pole. But Brian, I do have something interesting. So part of my other investigative reporting was to go way back in time, almost 100 episodes, 99 episodes back in time, Brian, to when we had Daybreak Games on this show, and I specifically asked about region locks.
Do you have a clip of
I've
this?
got the clip. So let's roll into the region lock clip.
And the horrified look on their faces.
And the setup for this was, and at the time we were playing Just Survive, and the setup was you're running through the camps, the death cabins. You're running north of the death cabins, and you are attacked by 30 to 40 people that are all screaming in Chinese at the exact same time, and they just come out of nowhere. And this, back at this time, this was I don't even think I have the date on this. This was April 14th of 2015. And at that point in time, the servers were just getting slammed.
It was about 2 years ago.
Yeah, this was almost 2 years ago.
Just 2 years ago now.
The servers were just crazy with these. At that point, it was just Chinese hackers. So my question was more targeted towards H1Z1 Just Survive, but the same criticism is still valid now. So this is the interview, and you can see the reaction, which is priceless. Chinese running towards bases and this mass killing stuff. What about region locks? Have you had any internal discussion about possibly implementing servers just for the Asian community, so they're not rolling 40, 50 deep in a U.S. server? Can you talk a little bit about that?
We haven't talked about any type of region locking. The having to I'm trying to figure out how to answer this. I don't really know anything about the region locking, or if that's something we really want to do. So I can't really speak on it.
Yeah.
A lot of it is, I know it was something that was pushed for Plant Site 2, but to be honest with you, there's a lot of people that play from Europe who want to play on East Coast American servers because all their friends play, or vice versa. They're on the East Coast, they want to play on European servers, and there are other cases where people want to play on Asian servers or want to play on Australian servers, this, that, and it goes on and on. So a harsh region lock, purely based on the fact that it's because you don't want people from that region to be cheating on your server, is kind of harsh. It probably would be.
So what he just said is it's kind of harsh to not want people from a specific region cheating on your server, which I can't even fathom. Just does it's. And this, again, was also sparked by a post on Reddit in which I believe it was Chris Wynn responded, and let me see if I can get this. Chris Wynn, no, this was Legion CM responded. While
this was before Wynn, I think.
Yeah, no, this is one day ago. This is Legion.
You're talking about now.
Yeah, this is now. This is Greg on Twitter or on a Reddit post. While I can't comment on the particular players, our CS team is using leaderboards as a gut check and as they work to investigate cheaters. I don't understand.
It's pretty obvious.
Yeah, and I understand.
The thing is, they're trying to tiptoe around to be so politically correct that they're unwilling to face the problem. And the problem is that a majority of the players that are coming here that are playing from that region, I mean, I don't, even if it's 50% are hacking, even if it's 25% are hacking, that's too many.
Well, when your leaderboards in your game the top 2 players are promoting a chat room in which they are selling exploits to your game. I mean, when is it enough? And this is kind of the point we made last week, and I really don't want this to turn into the H1Z1 Hacker Fest like it kind of what turned into last week. At what point is it like, all right, hold on, we've really got to like figure this out because this is ridiculous. Like the hackers are killing us.
I have some clips of one is from one of our viewers,
Yes.
and then another one is just one you might find entertaining. If you want to play the first one, the viewer video, this is UGX.
I watched this. There's not audio along with it. You want to just talk over this?
You don't need to do audio on that one. We can talk over this. The second one, it's at a timestamp, so you can play audio for that part.
Okay.
It's kind of entertaining.
So this is coming from our friend UG out in I think he's in the U.S. I think he's on the East Coast too.
Yeah.
And what you'll see here is a player quickly.
He's just zipping around.
This guy is on fire, speeding around like Sonic. Just speed hacking.
So this has nothing to do with ping. This is purely hacks.
Yes.
In the works. I mean, this is nothing. This guy doesn't have a car, but he's moving as fast as a vehicle.
Yeah. I just. Brian, I'll ask it again. When is it enough? At what point do U.S. players have to say, you know what, F you, I'm not playing your garbage game anymore because you are unwilling to fix the hacker situation?
Here's a very pointed question. Are they finally going to take it seriously if Battlegrounds starts to eat away at their player base?
I have no idea. Battlegrounds
right now,
is out of the picture.
Competition.
But Battleground is out of the picture. I mean, Battleground is not something that is going to be coming in the next, 2 weeks that's going to destroy H1Z1.
I'm talking about long term.
Well, but I don't know if they're even thinking long term. So I guess
they need to.
Well, yeah, but they're not. And so I guess.
Okay, so let's start playing that other one. And there's audio with this.
Okay.
And this will maybe sum up the feelings. Here's what to the general players.
Are you sure you want me to play the audio on this one?
You can play a bit of it. I think this is a part that's okay.
Okay, I don't think it is. We'll give it a try.
Oh, Daybreak, I hate you so much.
Yeah, this is not the part I want to play. I will just play this with audio because the next one.
No, there's different parts through here. You can at least do 10 seconds of this.
I hate every one of you. You're the worst developers in the entire world.
And
gonna come back full.
And it's the kind of the same thing in this one.
Same thing. You see a guy who's zipping around. This guy's just flying all over the place. So this is the exact same hack. 2 different people. You can see this guy just zipping back and forth. Now, one thing, the people that have hacks, a lot of times they're not very good players.
Well,
would you be surprised?
Well, it's not even that as much as it's just they, and I want to say they, I mean Daybreak, seems to be in denial about the issue. The issue is not cheaters. The issue is not ping. The issue is culture in a region lock.
Yeah.
I mean, it's as simple as that. Okay,
you saw how long it took him to think about that question. He sat there. In radio time, that is an eternity. In his mind, sitting there, that's like dead air. He was just sitting there trying to think, how can I answer this? Because it's not, how can I answer this truthfully? That's not what he was asking himself. He was saying, how can I answer this in the way that Daybreak would try to answer this question? And the problem is they don't have an answer for it. They don't want to answer it because the answer is, we don't appreciate your culture playing on our American servers the way that you play. The mentality of being able to hack, encouraging hacking, is not the majority of the type of players we have here in the United States, and it ruins the experience for a majority of the players here in the United States. I mean, maybe that we're there, that's enjoyable, and that's what you've accepted, but here it's not. You can't bring it over here and force us to play in or deal with players, because you're going to lose your whole player base eventually if they can't get a control on it.
Well, and this is the thing, and I understand why. Excuse me, I understand the reason why they're so tiptoey around the subject, just because they don't want to be deemed as racist. I mean, that's clearly what this is. If you go on panda.tv and you look at people playing H1Z1, you will find cheaters. You'll find people that are publicly and it happens on Twitch too, but not in the numbers that it does on Panda TV. Go on Panda TV, find the H1Z1 category, navigate to it, and click on 10 streams. I guarantee you find at least a couple cheaters. Because that's just how people play. And it's not wrong, because clearly Daybreak is doing nothing to counteract it, but it just totally screws me and screws Brian and screws everybody else that wants to legitimately play.
No.
I mean, that's what this comes down to.
And I feel sorry for these true competitive streamers like
Ninja.
Pawns,
Ninja. Look at
Pawns.
Ninja.
These guys were playing, and it's like you've got guys that can see that they're up on the roof. You know, they could be hiding up on the roof. Somebody just runs up the stairs and instantly shoots them. Well, how did they know that they were there for a while? You know, like if you look at some of the ESP that they're using, I don't think I put any video links in there, but I mean, they pretty much right now the ESP is in full bore. Like I went and watched about 3 or 4 different videos of different hack providers, and I didn't want to show the videos on here because it shows the links to where to buy the hacks, and I don't want to encourage that on here.
Well, here's the thing. Here, for example, I was talking about some of those names in the leaderboards, the QQ and then the numbers. This one is a QQN with some numbers. And the group name translated to English means H1Z1 Assist Software Group. And that was the leading person. That was the leading person on the H1Z1 King of the Kill.
It's all stuff that's assisting them.
But Brian, that was the leading player on the H1Z1 King of the Kill leaderboards. How is that possible? How is that allowed? I mean, seriously? Your own game?
There was another
your top
one
person
where
is like that?
I think it was Angry Pug. Either he posted the video or it was him playing, and I don't remember which, yesterday. Angry Pug was playing, and there was some guy chasing him in his vehicle. And the guy afterwards, you know, he said China #1, and it was an actual, like, you can tell the difference when it's someone pretending.
Someone just screaming China #1 because it's
so, you know, some kid in his basement, you know, in Iowa versus someone in China. And like, this is a guy from China, he said China #1, and he left. You know, and he had killed him. And then that's the frustration of what do you do against that? There are things that Daybreak could do. You know, we've gone over them before. Why not do more server-side checks? Cut down the number of players per game. And because you've gotten a false sense of players per game. There shouldn't be 160 people in a game if you can't do real server-side checks to do anti-hack. If you can't tell that somebody is moving at the speed of a car but are not in a car, you can't seem to handle to check that detail, there's a problem.
Oh, for sure.
If someone can run around for 5 minutes before it realizes that they need to be disconnected from the server, there's a problem. I mean, we showed video last week of people, you know, with huge ping rates, and people are going through doors and windows and just like they're rubber banding all over the place. And the fact that they don't get kicked from the server because of too high ping time, that is a problem. And so there's no good answer other than them tightening down and admitting, you know, our game isn't made to run it like this. Like we have it's the equivalent of, I have a race car here, but you know what? I have the fastest car. And how I've done that is I've taken off every safety feature on the car. You know, it's pretty much down to there's a frame and there's an engine, but I am faster than you. Okay, well, you didn't get by it legitimately, because the second that a bug comes and it smacks you in the face and you break your neck, okay, congratulations, you had the fastest car. That's what I feel like we're running into every day. Every little thing that comes along, we have problems with, and we can't seem to figure out why. Well, there's no windshield. Idiot, you took off the windshield to make the car faster. You know, all these little things, they think, oh, look, we're making the game faster. We get 160 players. Look what we can do. Oh, this is so cool. They took out all the things that they're supposed to be doing on their side. Just because we can't see it doesn't mean they should have done it. And so shame on Daybreak for behaving this way. They need to be accountable and do the coding right on their side, because they have obviously done it wrong. These other people who are trying to do it right, I mean, you saw with some of these new competitor games that are coming out now, they start with lower player numbers. You know why? Because they're doing real server-side checks on their servers.
Yeah.
They're doing their appropriate way of handling the situation.
I understand the argument that Clegg, Adam Clegg made on the interview we had, that you may have friends from Australia, and we have that. We have people
that exact same situation.
We have people from all over the thing, and when the term region lock is thrown around, they say this. Oh, this is this strict region lock. You can't do that. Another way to do a region lock is to have a ping restriction, because that's a region lock. You are locking people in to a region which are all going to have a somewhat similar ping into a region. And I'm not saying a region lock where, oh, well, if you live in America, you can only play in American servers. If you live in over across the pond in Europe, you can only play in European
standard
servers. How about
where it's strict enough?
How about 175 milliseconds ping? How about 200 milliseconds ping? And if you have anything more than that, you get your ass kicked out of the game. How about that? Real simple solution. And if ping is over this, gone. Ejected out of the game.
I mean, it may be where I would have to play on the EU servers. If for some reason my ping was better on the EU servers, I would play on the EU servers.
And I have said this multiple times, for us to accommodate our large group that is geographically spread all over the world, I would have no problem playing on the EU servers. I'd have zero issue with it to accommodate our people that play in Australia. We have a couple members in Australia, or people over in western parts of Europe or eastern parts of Europe. If we had to do that to get past that, that wouldn't bother me.
Yeah. Or even if they had a region versus a non-region, why don't they have server sets to where you can choose? I want one that's region locked. Like why don't they have a set of servers where you can check a box and you can choose to go on a higher ping restriction, or, one that requires a lower ping, and one maybe that is cut out for certain regions. I mean, they could server side do this. They supposedly have that many players. I mean, if you have 50,000 players, right? And you can't seem to say, okay, well, let's take 10,000 of those and let's make a high performance set of servers. Ones that you have to have a low ping to be able to play on them. Why not? It's not like you can say, oh, well, we won't be able to fill the servers. You supposedly have 50,000 people playing at one time.
No, it's not supposedly. I mean, the numbers are there.
That's what I'm saying. So what are they worried about?
Well, that's the thing is, I get that it's a
checkbox.
Well, I get that. There's just a whole bunch of things that go into this, because you want it to be implemented properly and in a way that actually works. Because here's the thing: if they implement a really poor version of this, then we're right where we are right now. I don't want that. I want this to be thorough. I want this to be thought through, and I want this to be implemented properly. And the way
that could be a start.
But that's the thing is, no. Here's the thing, Brian. I'm sick of this term. Oh, that's a start. This is a start. I want a freaking solution. I'm so sick of this is the first step in a much better game. This is the first step. I'm sick of it. We've been fed first steps for 2.5 years.
Well, and
this is the first step in the right direction.
To start when it comes to hackers. I remember hackers being this blatant early on in the game, and we're 2 years out and we're in the exact same spot again. So obviously they didn't come up with a good enough system to be able to stop this.
Yeah. And it sucks.
I mean, why can't they check to see if somebody is running at the speed of car? Why can't they do a simple check like that?
Well, because I think the way that they have people driving in cars is that there's obviously no check if you're in a car or not. You just move at a certain speed.
Yeah. They need to have a thing that the server says, are you in a car or not? This is what I'm talking about, server-side checks. In code, there's supposed to be things that are purely done on the server. If I want to go pick up an object off the ground, I am asking the server to give me that object. That is and it's doing a server-side check. Does this object exist? Okay, I am now giving it to this player. With a car, all right, I would like to enter this car. Okay, you've entered this car. Okay, now I would like to go really fast. Okay, I checkbox in a car, checkbox going really fast. Congratulations. Going really fast, not in a car. Are you falling? And if you haven't fallen in the last 1 second, have you fallen and hit the ground and died? No? Okay, kick them from the server.
Yeah, and I get it. And it's obviously, and I know it's more complicated than that. It's not just, one click
But
check.
this is the logic that they. I mean, I'm
But
not
that's the
giving
thing.
the exact
Yes,
code to do
exactly.
it. This is the logic. These are the checks they can do.
And they had the hackers sorted with. They had that dealt with. I mean, go back 3 months in King of the Kill. I didn't see that the hacker thing wasn't an issue.
That's what I started out this with is what changed.
What?
Like,
So
what's
let me
happened?
ask you, what changed? Nothing
I
to
don't
my
know.
knowledge. There hasn't been
I mean,
any major
they put out
update.
minimal updates.
But nothing. No, they really haven't. They haven't put out many updates. They put out maybe.
I said minimal.
Oh, minimal. Yeah. No, there really
Yeah.
hasn't been anything. Thank you,
Thank you, Brock Vaughn,
Brock
the
Vaughn,
donation.
for the
$20.
donation. We
First drinks
appreciate.
on me. Hope to see you guys there. All right,
oh,
yeah. If you can, you say he's going to be there.
That's what it sounds like to me.
So if you are going to be there, we'll take a quick. Let's relax for a minute.
Go ahead.
Think
Brian.
of the happy times of PAX.
My blood is boiling. Go ahead.
So if you're going to be there, we're going to be having a dinner. And I think we're doing did we decide Saturday night?
No, I thought we were doing Friday night.
Late evening, afternoon.
Friday night, Brian, is what you wanted to do.
Is it Friday night? Okay, so Friday night, probably around 6:30, 7 o'clock.
Yes.
That time there. We are going to be having a dinner. So if you're going to be at PAX, if you're going to be in the area, let us know. Even if you're not going to PAX, but if you're in the area and you want to come join us for dinner, let us know. You can email us at contact@infectionpodcast.com, or if you would like to just tweet us or something.
Yep.
So get us a notification somehow and get acknowledgement from one of us so that we can contact you.
Yeah, we'll get a cell phone number and we'll get
where you're going, where
yep.
we're going, and everything else. Because
yes.
We would like to. Yeah, it would be a lot of fun to sit down with some people.
And part of that as well is what Saul just posted in here is that
that's why we're doing it that early, is because Friday the 13th is having a special thing at 10:30 p.m.
I'm super pumped.
He's like, are we gonna go hang out with people, or are we gonna go to Friday?
Oh, this was my favorite part. So let me bring you into what I have to deal with Brian every week. So we're spending we raised $532 from our viewers to go to PAX East, and I told Brian I want to go to the panel, and he goes, they're streaming it online, right? I swear to God, this is what Brian said to me.
If that was the only time we could go to dinner with people,
Brian,
I said I'd rather go to dinner with
we raised $500. We raised $500 to go to PAX, and you're telling me you want me to watch it on Twitch on crappy hotel Wi-Fi? You're out of your mind.
Well, we could watch it from the press box.
The press box,
just down the hall.
Yeah. High above the sky is the press box as we watch upon all the peasants make their way.
Cool. Well, look at those people down there. Yeah, I have my complimentary coffee and drinks.
Oh, God help us all. We are totally not going to fit in with like all these IGN and like real journalists.
Who do you write for?
Man, screw region locks. Screw the Chinese. That'll be our point that we'll make. But back to H1Z1. I guess we can move on because we're already about half an hour into the show with it. Probably should put up the H1Z1 lower third there. It might be useful. I just wish at this point in time where there's a lot of people playing the game. Undeniably, you can hate the game, you can love the game. You're a lying moron if you say there's not people playing it, because the numbers just prove otherwise.
Unless they're somehow faking those numbers,
which they're not.
I can imagine
because there's Steam. I mean, no, they're definitely not faking those numbers. There's a lot of people playing this game. 40, 50, 60,000 people playing this game at a time. Lots of people are playing it. Similar numbers to Ark and some of these other, massive titles on Steam. With that being said, I would like to just see some acknowledgement that a solution is being worked on. And all I've seen so far is just them pussyfooting around the question about hackers and region locks and dealing with people from anywhere in the world where, here's the thing. I should not be able to go. I'm not just including people in the Asia region servers. I should not be able to play in the Asia region servers. Unequivocally, without a doubt, the game should not let me play on those servers.
There should be no way that I have a better ping there than I would to New York or to LA.
But that's not even the
Wherever
problem.
their servers are in the United States. But I'm saying if they did a true ping restriction, I should by no means have a better ping over there. So it would make only sense for me to play in my local server.
Exactly. And that's the thing here. There is a clear way for them to get around this. And it's a simple ping lock, which is a region lock. That's what they're doing. You are locking people based on their ping, which is in turn locking them by their region. And if that's what has to be done in the meantime, until a real solution can be planned and thought out and implemented to deal with the rampant amount of hackers, and even people that aren't hacking, just people that are playing on servers with 250 plus milliseconds ping, that's not a fair play experience. Yeah. That's not an experience in which you and I can have a fair time playing that game. We saw it. We showed you the videos last week of the guys walking through the grocery store, not even hovering over items and being able to pick them up. They're picking up an entire gun and ammo quicker than I can get my mouse at one gun and press E to get it in my inventory. It's insane. How is that possible?
The one thing I'm wondering is, like, with this many people playing, they should have enough of a queue of people ready to start each game. Why can't they just sort it by, here's the people with the fastest ping, put them all on the server together. Like it's kind of sorting it by ping. I'll try to, maybe this one has a high ping. Okay, let's try to find the next server. Does it have a better ping for them? If not, then they go to a low ping, really bad ping server. I mean, would that be a better solution, at least, of trying to sort the pings so that mostly the better ping people are together? All it's really doing is just saying, okay, let's put you in the best ping server for you.
I don't know. I mean, it doesn't even have to be that bad. I mean, they just need to have a simple restriction for when you're in the game. Let anybody.
Do you think they should be willing to say, all right, this person can't play because they can't seem to get under a 500 ping?
Yes, 100%. Unequivocally, without a doubt. If you do not have
that doesn't seem to be happening right now. Like, I've never been not let into a game because of high ping.
Well, and that's the thing is they should allow anybody from any region into every single game. And the second you load into the lobby of that game, and you have 250, 300 milliseconds ping, you're gone. You're kicked out. And let them keep coming in over and over and over again. And as long as the ping is that high, boot them right back out to the main lobby with the message, ping too high. Simple as that. I'm not saying you need to do all these, cross checks and referencing all these different things, loading certain ping people into these servers. Just load everybody in the way you do it now and check for the freaking
and be willing
ping.
To boot them.
Just kick them. I mean, this is a first-person shooter, Brian. This is a competitive game in which the ping matters. 25 milliseconds ping and 200 milliseconds ping is a vast difference. I will kill you. I would be willing to bet that I would kill you 70 or 80% of the time if my ping was 20 and yours was 250 and you weren't cheating. I guarantee you I'd be able to kill you. Why? Because you have a much higher ping, and in a game in which things are unraveling so fast, it's a first-person shooter. I mean, how do you think Call of Duty does this? You think Call of Duty allows people with 400 milliseconds ping to play? Absolutely not. You can try to play, but you're going to be lagging all over the place, and the game is going to exit. It's going to kick you out of the game. It's not going to allow you in the game in the first place. And that's what H1Z1 needs to deal with. They just need to not allow players with these crazy high pings into the game. Why is my play experience getting screwed because people over in Asia don't want to play on their own servers? Why is that? Why are you on Twitter at midnight complaining that you're getting killed by hackers because they don't have some restriction in place for people from other regions that have crazy high pings? Why is that? What happened to anti-cheat? Aren't they using BattlEye?
Yeah, they are. I don't think they've disabled it. It loads every time I start it.
What's it doing?
I don't know.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
I don't know how such obvious hacks are getting by all these things. I mean, it seems like we're going back to the manually banning days.
Yeah, send an email.
Yeah, so I mean, I do Control R, and sometimes I hear it click, like, so that report still does work. It doesn't tell you it reported, but I just feel like it. I don't want to go back to having to email them and getting on a first name basis with their anti-hack team.
Yeah, I mean, that's how we used to do it. We literally used to have to get people banned. That's how we played. We'd find hackers on our servers and we'd email and they would get banned. That's all we'd have to do.
Yep.
But it sucked. because
Yeah.
that stuff needs to be.
Personally, I don't like being that guy. It's like I just want to play.
Yeah, my job isn't to
just
do
gets
QC.
frustrating.
My job is I want to play the game. I paid to play the game. I didn't pay to do your QC.
Yeah.
It's just very frustrating. But we do have some news to go along with this. We do have a couple test server updates that we can just run through real quick. I'm not going to cover all the details because we do have a lot of other games I'd rather talk about. March 3rd, this was Friday, yes. We had a test server for King of the Kill. Just a couple of things that they went over. There were some desync issues with the doors specifically. This is a long ongoing thing where it looks like it's open on your screen, and it looks like it's closed on someone else's screen, and as you interact with the door, it changes. It wasn't really desync as much as the state of the object was different per instance, it seemed, which was very weird. They're working on stuff with that. Reloading improvements, which is continually been an issue with ghost bullets and one bullet getting loaded, or it says 30 bullets are loaded and there's not, and you go to shoot and there's nothing there. Vehicle exploits, and then just some other exploits as well.
The vehicles exploding.
Oh, excuse me, vehicles exploding. You hit a rock or something.
Okay, so here's an interesting thing that happened last night on Pon's stream. So he was in a vehicle, he jumped out, the vehicle just started slowly going forward, really slowly, and then it charged when he wasn't even into this vehicle of the guy in front of him that was sideways, and then the car flipped up in the air, really slow. And then his car flipped over. You saw the guy fly out the side of the vehicle, like dead. And then everything exploded. It was the weirdest. It was the weirdest thing.
Some of the explosion car, some of the car explode. I mean, I've shown that screenshot over and over again of we're playing a 5-man BR and there's literally a car flying through the air with people jumping out, and you just see two little black pixels. Or a couple pixels fall from each side. These guys are 300 feet in the air. We're onlooking from a city, and the vehicles are just so weird. So of course they're working on that, and then a couple of exploits. Running at full. So
these are exploits I think that they haven't fixed yet that they're working on.
Yes. So running at full speed while aiming down the weapon sights, which isn't allowed.
Wait. But by full speed, do they mean full vehicle speed?
No. This is just regular exploits.
But I'm saying that's what we've been seeing is people running at full speed. I'm running as fast as a car.
But when you have the gun up and you're looking down the sights, it slows you down like every other game. It's almost like it's a slow walk. But I guess there was some people still running at full speed. Hiding particle effects, skipping prone to stand animation, throwing infinite grenades, and then a couple of additional bug fixes.
Okay, so here's one thing just before we get off this topic.
Yeah.
Here's a feature request. If anything.
We're not getting after what we just said. We're not getting anything. You don't get anything.
I know we're not. I know it's not going to happen. Why don't they? When you crouch, or when you jump, or when you're moving fast, let's say side to side, why doesn't your accuracy get less?
I think that's I think you look into an issue where you, Brian, and specifically you have talked about your shot hitting 100% of the time. Kind of consistency stuff, and when you throw in that level of inconsistency on a game that already has inconsistencies with shooting, I feel like your bullets are never going to hit.
Well, that's the thing is you have to come to a stop to guarantee that accuracy.
But that's
because people are doing these jump shots, they're doing these up and down crouch shots.
Well, that's
stop. Would solve this.
I mean, that up and down crouch thing is, I think, been negated now with the length of the animation. Now you see
people kind of like going left and right, and I don't know how much of it's lag. I just think it would be a much better game because people would have to face each other, head on, if they made accuracy go down. It doesn't have to go down a ton, but have it be less accurate because you're moving or because you're jumping, just like it would be in real life.
Yeah.
They don't teach in the military to sit there and jump up and down and shoot their shots. There's a reason they make them stand.
Yeah. Well, I think my hesitation with your recommendation, Brian, is because they'll
break it.
I don't think they'll break it, but the shooting, from what we've seen so far, the shooting is already not it's not consistent, right? If you shoot in the same spot 10 times, for some reason the bullet just
I don't know. I see some of these guys that are able to be incredibly consistent.
Well, whatever.
Maybe I'm just part of us.
Maybe I'm just a crap. Well, I don't know. Maybe I'm just a crappy player. But I've seen multiple people complain about the and we've talked about it. Why does a
But
game like
I think
CS:GO
they made it more accurate lately, and so that's the thing is it has a little bit of an aim assist. Like when you shoot in a certain region, if you shoot kind of close enough, it's not totally accurate. Like if you're close enough, it seems like it does a hit. And I think they've upped that a little bit lately.
Yeah. So who knows? I mean, would it be great? But I don't see that being implemented in a proper fashion at this point.
I think that would take away just people being stupid when they're running around and
Oh,
doing
I
the duck
agree.
thing.
Yeah.
Going everywhere, trying to juke from bullets. I
Yeah.
mean, come on.
Hey.
It works in the game, but it doesn't. It's not. They don't teach you that. Like
No.
that's not a.
We'll see.
That's not what they teach the Marines.
This is true. Hopefully they're not using H1Z1 as a military simulator.
Just do everything you do here, and you'll be all right, boys.
Yeah. Sounds
okay.
That sounds a pretty next level to PH. All my energy's gone now. It sucks. H1Z1. This is a Just Survive update. March the 3rd as well. That was Friday. A couple of quick things in here. Significantly optimized base / NPC server performance of the base server performance and the NPCs. Yeah. Improved server multi-threading performance. This is stuff again for them. Fixed an issue that allowed particularly nimble players to dupe grenades, which was they were just talking about King of the Kill 2, so maybe those will go hand in hand. Fixed an issue with certain base configurations being potentially exploitable on defense. Additional crash to desktop fixes as always. Ongoing fair play / exploit countermeasures and anti-cheat logging tools.
So fair play, which is supposed to be kind of the ping thing, right?
Yeah. Well, I think
what fair play really is.
I mean, that's when I think fair play. That's how I think of fair play. But again, this is Just Survive, so who knows if those hacks work or if it's a different system. And then cloudy and rainy days work, and they kind of go into the rain and the weather system and all that stuff. So another test server update, and then we had this, which is unfortunate. Last Friday, this is a post from Landon Montgomery, who is the CEO for all intents and purposes of Just Survive, saying last Friday, which was that patch we just covered on the 3rd, we updated the Just Survive test servers with the update that did not live up to our standards. We had server / zone disconnects for a variety of reasons, and they were investigating that over the weekend. So as of right now, they have locked, and this was as of 19 hours ago, they locked the test servers to figure that out. And what they're targeting is for tomorrow, Wednesday. They plan on unlocking the servers, and there will be a new update that will hopefully address the issues above the server / zone disconnects. So hopefully they're able to figure that out. But I like the proactiveness, Brian, at least of this update in Just Survive. Test server update. Okay, great. Doesn't work properly? Kill it, right? Lock the servers till you can get a working thing. And I think if they follow this measure and they admit, hey, we did an update, it sucked, it broke stuff, it doesn't work properly, we're going to lock the servers until we have a solution, I think people are okay with that. The reason people get upset is when things are on the test server, then they'll put a post up on Reddit. Hey guys, tell us what issues you're having on the test server. And all the top comments are, this thing is broken, this thing is broken. And then they promote that test, server to live with the thing that everybody says is broken. That's where the frustration is, at least for me. I can't speak for everybody. I can't speak for you. But for me, that's where the frustration is when I go on Reddit and the top post is X thing is broken, and then they are promoting X thing to live. It's like, well, I mean, what more do you want? Your community is telling you have an issue, you have to fix it, and yet you're just, I don't know, doing nothing, not taking what they're saying to mean anything. So we'll see what comes out with this, but I like the outfrontness and I guess the transparency with this of, hey, we had an update, didn't work as planned, sorry. We'll see what happens. So that's Just Survive. That brings us current with H1Z1. I guess we should probably announce our first game giveaway, Brian.
Yeah, so let me get the let me make sure that it is actually ready to go. So this first one, here we go. Get the right window up. All right, so this first one's going to be Jump Jet Rex. So let me get the giveaway going in there, so that actually has points. So we'll do 30 points for this first one. It'll be exclamation point giveaway. You'll see a notification in chat when it's ready to go. All right, so I'll have a link. It's called Jump Jet Rex, and we'll have a Steam link here so you can check it out. It's kind of a side scroller platformer with dinosaurs. It's an adventure game. So there is a link if you want to check it out. It has very positive ratings.
Yes.
About $10, I think, right now on Steam. So yeah, exclamation point giveaway if you'd like to enter for that. And then we'll give it away in about 5-10 minutes.
Yes, we'll do that, and a couple more housekeeping things while we take this quick break here. Because we were able to reach our goal, we've got a couple of things that we're going to be doing at PAX East because of that. First one being we're going to be recording a special impromptu kind of general chat session around regarding PAX, most likely Saturday night, in which we're just going to be talking about, what happened at PAX, travel stories, all that fun stuff. It's going to be Brian.
So this is going to be an audio only?
It's going to be audio and video because we do have audio the ability to do video. So it's going to be audio and video. It's going to be Brian, Lance, Langan44, and of course Jake the Snake Zimbrowski from The Crummy Show, and myself. We'll have that, and that should be up in the audio archives and video probably early next week. And as well, the second part of that is we're going to be doing a whole bunch of video interviews with people. We've got a whole bunch of interviews lined up with developers like Funcom, who developed Conan. We're going to be meeting with the Battlegrounds people, which I know everybody is super stoked, and all the hype is around Battlegrounds recently. And then a couple of other, we're meeting with Elite Dangerous, and then a couple of other games as well. So lots of cool stuff, and that was all possible due to the people that were so generous to support us on our trip to PAX. So look forward to all that stuff. All of that content will be trickling out through the next couple of weeks after we get back from PAX. I'll do my best to try to get all that edited and uploaded, but we'll have all of that content up. So we hopefully we look forward to getting some cool interviews, and I'm pretty psyched. So that's
so one thing, for the game of the week, we're doing Overwatch. We won't be playing because we won't have our computers to play. And this will be, we'll probably be doing something anyway.
We'll probably be at dinner.
Yeah, we'll probably be at dinner at that moment. So, but we'll be doing Overwatch. The people that are here, they can go ahead and get that going. People seem to have no issues getting to Overwatch, and we know Overwatch will work.
Yes, exactly. So simple game. People don't need any coordination. They can just hop in a lobby and play. So Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern on our Discord channel. You can find the link to Discord on infectionpodcast.com. Overwatch. Get in there, make sure your game is updated, and check all that stuff out. Hopefully, I'm sure there will be a crowd of people, specifically Matt playing that. He's a sucker for Overwatch. I'm sure he'll be playing that Friday night. He's a big fan of the Overwatch game night. So hopefully you guys tune into that or join that game night. And of course we won't be here, but nevertheless, maybe Brian or I will check in on mobile and see how everyone is doing. All right.
Someone harassing them.
Yeah. Let's quickly, Brian. I do want to try to get through all this news because everything we don't get through is going to get scrapped, and we'll fall into the abyss.
Okay. Do you want to talk anything about the Battlegrounds duos?
Let's do that quickly. We both had the chance to play a little bit of duos this week from Battlegrounds. Last week we did an extensive detail of the Battlegrounds solo. Go check that out, episode 111 of Infection. I thought we did a pretty good job with that. But duo-wise, I like the idea that they just specifically made it duos. They didn't give you the option to test anything else. Couple of highlights for me, a couple of things that I saw and noted and I really liked is no matter how far away you were from your partner, you could see their little icon on your screen when you were in the direction they were when you were spinning around. That you would always see their marker. You could see their marker on the map. Well, not even on the map, just looking through the world, you'd be able to see what direction they are. And then of course on the map as well, you can actually see where they are. Here's a kind of a tip, Brian. Let me make sure this isn't your tip of the week. You don't have one.
No, you're good. I don't have it in there.
You can zoom in on the in-game map. I don't know if you know this, Brian, but you press M and you can scroll and zoom and really check that out. So that's really cool. Other than that, it was I didn't have the chance to try to shoot at my partner. I don't know if you did, but I think you were able to kill them. I'm not sure about that.
I don't recall. I didn't try to shoot my partners.
No, it was something I wanted to test, and I just didn't have a chance to.
Yep.
But I played a couple of games with Matt. I think he was the only one I played with.
Green Man says you can, so
okay. So I'm sure he tested or was the victim. So you could shoot your partner.
Yep.
But I mean, I thought it was pretty flawless. There were a couple little things here and there. The coordination is tough because it doesn't land you at the same spot. You typically find yourself just kind of being like, well, let's go towards, the west. And it's like, okay, the west is it's just one direction. But I would assume with time, learning the map, learning the areas, you'd be able to navigate a little bit better. I do see that being an issue with duos. Brian, what do you think about this? In solos, you'd be able to choose your spot. In duos, it parachutes you and your partner together.
Okay, so that was an issue I ran into of like, when do we jump? When do we jump?
Yeah.
I would prefer to have the option to maybe like have a checkbox that says jump, when my partner jumps, so that when he jumps out, it automatically pulls me out as well. Because that was something I'm kind of watching hit their icon. And when I see that it changed from, the steering wheel to the parachute, I'm like, oh, I got to click really quick.
Yeah.
I think, I think just it would be a simple little thing, but I think if you just had it to where you could kind of tie yourself to that person, if they jump out, you go out. Maybe not, you're not forced to, but just have an option, a little checkbox or something you can click that lets you do that.
Yeah. That definitely was kind of my biggest issue, if you want to call it an issue. And it wasn't an issue. It was just an annoyance, something that you had to constantly work together. Just trying to coordinate that was not very easy. Let's just say that. So
it's much more difficult landing with these parachutes. Not that it's super difficult, but it's just.
I do have an issue.
It's more. It takes more work to land near each other.
Yes, and I do have an issue that they somehow incorporated into the duos. When you jump out of when your parachute comes out, it rotates you 180 degrees backwards.
Yeah. Yes, I ran into that.
That wasn't in solos. Definitely wasn't in solos and was in duos for some reason. So not sure what the cause of that was, but hopefully that can be easily ironed out, because that was a colossal pain. When you're kind of,
or when you get close to the ground, all of a sudden it flips you. It would seem like it would happen once in the parachute when you started, and then sometimes right before I hit the ground, it would flip me around as well.
So hopefully something like that can be easily sorted out. But other than that parachute thing, I really can't think of anything where I was.
The game is beautiful as far as, the landscape, the atmosphere. If you set side by side H1Z1 and this, there's no comparison. This feels real, has a realism to it. And I really enjoy that. Like, if someone runs off, they can actually go and disappear. In H1Z1, we pretty much know, oh, they're over there, let's just chase them down and we're going to find them. There's no real place to hide. In here, you can hide very well. And so that makes a big difference for me in the game. Because it isn't a guaranteed. It's not down to, oh, they're in that building, let's just go kill them. You have to really watch what they're doing, because they can easily sneak away from you.
Exactly. So,
and all the outfits, so there's no crazy bright outfits. Everyone looks normal.
For the most part, yes.
Yeah.
So that, again, not a whole lot to complain about. And that's a good sign. And at the beginning of the show, I kind of shut you down. You're like, well, do you think Battlegrounds is still many months away from something that is H1Z1's level.
Ready, yeah.
And I don't think a Battlegrounds seems to be a little more tactical, while H1Z1 King of the Kill is a little more arcadey. So in that respect, I really don't think I have a problem with that either. They're two separate games. I don't think they're meant to be the same. So we'll see what happens. But I think next weekend's is duos again, and then the weekend after is fives. I believe I saw somebody talking about that.
I think in 6 months, though, they could have a very competitive product.
It depends. I guess it depends on how casual they make it.
I don't think they're going to go too super casual.
Well, I think that's the thing, though, is people like the ability to jump into an H1Z1 King of the Kill game and play casually. That's a benefit.
See, This game seemed to go at a fast pace, though.
But
like it's consistent, and it's more consistent, less dead downtime.
Well, part of that is deception, and part of that is true. And maybe deception isn't the right word. But you in King of the Kill, in H1Z1, you know not to go certain places, right? Because you go to there and you know there's not going to be anything that's worth your time. You're not doing that in Battlegrounds yet because you're so new to the game. You're so unfamiliar with what's going on. So part of the quickness of the game is you trying to figure out where the hell do I go next. So what do I do this? You're constantly looking at the map.
Or not timing it. Like you don't know. Like
exactly.
You have to realize if I'm at the very east side of the map and the zone's going to be in the very west side of the map, I mean, you got to start running. Where we kind of know in H1Z1, I got plenty of time.
Well, and that's the thing.
You can always outrun the gas.
It's a comfortability thing too. Comfortability thing. I don't even think that's a word. You're very comfortable in H1Z1. I'm very comfortable in H1Z1. I feel very comfortable with the game. I feel very comfortable with how to navigate the map, how to act in gunfights. In this, I'm not. I spend a lot of time in every house. I've spent a minute and a half in a house, which I've never spent that long in an H1Z1 house. I mean, you run into the house, you're in and out of that house in 30 seconds tops. So that, stuff like that makes it so much different, and I think makes it run quicker from your vantage point. The game itself isn't any quicker. It's still 5 minutes from the start till when the zone it starts moving in. It's just how quickly and how comfortable you are with the game. So hopefully as you learn the map and are comfortable with the map, that stays the same. Because it could turn into a situation where once you know the map really well, the game is just as slow as H1Z1, which would really suck. But I don't know that. You don't know that. Nobody is that comfortable with the game yet where they know that to be true.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I like having the breaks between and seeing real progression with the updates and everything. So we'll see as they tackle everything. I don't know. I think that 6 months from now, we'll have a product that we can hold up and say, hey, this is pretty good spot. Like there's a chance, but I think they need 6 months to really develop on it. But I'm very impressed with what they did from last, the set tests before this till this set of tests. Very impressed with how they were able to smooth it out and make it a much more enjoyable experience.
Yeah.
So good for them.
Yes. Positive stuff. We look forward to meeting up and hanging out with them at PAX and hopefully getting some more information.
You want to go over Conan really quick?
Let's do the game giveaway and then we can do Conan.
All right. So let me go ahead and roll this. Let's see. All right. So MDC 357. Congratulations. I will send you a code for that. It'll actually probably be a link, and then you'll be able to redeem it.
Yes.
And it'll probably be in your other messages, just because of how Twitch works.
Yes. So congratulations on that. All right. Conan, we had a couple of updates this week. Excuse me. March 2nd. They're still dealing with some server disconnect issues from time to time, and they have some more detailed explanation on that if you want to get into it. A couple of things, a couple of highlights, and I like how they do a TLDR for the highlights, which is good for us if we want to cover them. The exploit fix, you can no longer jump on top of exploding jars, not without consequences, so when you jump on them, they'll explode as they should. Another exploit is that you can no longer repeatedly harvest your own body for food, or actually that's what you get for food, flesh or something to cook and eat. A temporary exploit fix is temporarily disabling the pike alternative attack. While we fix the exploit, there was some exploit with how the alternative attack on the pike, so that's been just disabled for the meantime. Item names and item descriptions, localizations are fixed. That's different languages. So if you set your game to Russian or Chinese, the item names and numbers weren't in that language. So hopefully that's been updated. Servers should now start up faster upon restart, which is good because there's a lot of updates. Asian servers are now running on hardware located in Asia. The game databases have been transferred over, so that the only change should be improved latency / lower ping for Asian players. This was a couple weeks ago that they announced that those Asian servers were being worked on, but they're actually up now in the region with hardware that's physical to that region, which is good. And then they added a region selecting button for renting game servers from their preferred partner for Europe, Russia, and Asia. That's kind of the TLDR for this update. There's a whole bunch of stuff, but because we are, I guess, kind of running short on time here, we're going to skip over those. Other than that, they had a hotfix that was out Friday, and all this did was updated server settings to remove decay on placeables, so things you would place. I guess decay was being put on those, and then they give you a guide on how to work with the game database to make sure that that's properly implemented. And then a look at things to come, Brian. This came out
do you want me to go over some
yesterday.
Of this?
Yeah, they did a long video at GDC. It's about 15 minutes long. The audio is not
and we'll have a
great
link
on
to
it.
that. We'll have a link to that, so if you want to go watch it. So they sold. They noted in here they sold over 480,000 copies in the first 30 days. So that, put up at the #1 seller on Steam for 2 weeks, for over 2 weeks. And they're excited about that. They said that right now, going forward, they're going to be going on to 3 separate tracks. So the first track is going to be centered around patches, bug fixes, and performance and stability updates. And that's they said that'll be going out about every 2 weeks. So 1 to 2 weeks, they'll be doing that. These include smaller features, in addition to responding to requests from the community. So something you say, hey, here's something we want to see in there. They may throw some of those smaller things in there. The second track is the bigger game updates they're looking at. These will be less frequent, but the bigger, more significant additions to the game, like this would be an example of the Purge, which is they're going to be implementing. And it says they'll put about 4 to 6 big game updates during early access, with 2 to 3 coming out before summer of 2017. So we should have here in the next couple of months 2 to 3 large updates, from what they're saying in here. An additional 2 to 3 being released before Christmas. So that should be that 6. So that so they're looking at this half of the year having 2 to 3, and the last half of the year having 2 to 3. And then the final game update being in the first quarter of 2018 is when they're looking at doing release. The third and final track is being centered around releasing on major consoles. So, and then even larger content like the biomes that they had discussed on our podcast when they were here. So the biomes they said, are additions to the game's map with different environments. These updates to the game will add new terrain, monsters, more equipment, new god avatars, and more. So that's kind of how they're looking at doing these updates. They do have some examples of trebuchets and just some different buildings. They're looking siege equipment that they're putting in and looking at putting in the new dye system, so you can customize your clothing a little bit more, and then dungeons that they're working on for the game. And then they also show here a mount, which we haven't. So I would kind of guess that it would be when they started making the map a little bit bigger, but they have a horse that you can ride, and then they have a camel. So you'll be able to get those and have some player mounts. And also one thing they're looking is mounted combat. But yeah, so this they kind of show in here some like a picture of kind of the environment they're going for. But I'm assuming they'll go kind of away from the more deserty look to going to more of a green environment, possibly to a snow environment. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with those biomes. But they are saying expect more greenery, more stone and soil. And this biome is going to be adding a temperature system to the game as well. So
cool stuff.
Who knows? It'll be sometime this year.
Yeah, and
when they start doing that.
And there's actually another interesting story here. I want to thank Saul Goodman for passing this along to us. This is an article on Engadget about Funcom, and its title is "A Naked Barbarian Simulator Saved Funcom from Bankruptcy."
Oh wow!
Yeah, this is pretty interesting. It goes through the fact of how Funcom was on the teetering edge of bankruptcy before they decided that they were going to make Conan Exiles. And they were able to recoup its development costs, which were about a year worth of development, I think, a year and a half worth of development in less than a week. So it's just a really interesting article. It's got some details in it about how Conan Exiles literally saved Funcom and saved the company, which is fabulous.
Good for them.
Yeah. Which is really good, and is exciting for everybody that bought the game or whatever. Because if this it appears obvious if this didn't work out as planned, all those people would be without jobs, and Funcom probably wouldn't be able to keep those the other Conan games.
Yeah, it's one of those gambles, and the gamble worked out really well for them, so that's good.
Yeah, and they were at GDC. They're going to be at PAX East. They are all in with Conan Exile. So hopefully everything goes as planned, and we have a great game for years to come. So they're really looking forward to that, and it's kind of a nice story. There'll be a link to that in the show notes. Infectionpodcast.com if you want to get more details on the story and read through it all. Right.
Do we want to go over We Happy Few for a few minutes?
Sure. Yeah, we've pushed this for probably 3 weeks, I think.
Yeah. Well, this is the new one. I've actually dumped
the
old one. So they put out pretty consistent updates. So I actually got rid of the old. This is going to be something new, and it is related to PAX a little bit. So They are having a PAX meetup. So if we wanted to, we could figure out if this works for us. But they're going to be doing it 7:30 p.m. They don't say the day, which is kind of funny. So we'll have to find that. Thursday. So they're going to be gathering on Thursday, which is when we're flying in. So we have to decide if we want to bother.
Yeah, that's not going to work.
But they're going to be doing a PAX meetup. So if you're going to be at PAX and you want to meet the people that have made We Happy Few, you're more than welcome to go. They said to come grab some very special tea with us. Other than that, they've been going over some of the design things. The one thing they've done very well in this game is they have a really good, artistic eye. When they make something, everything looks beautiful in this game. The animation, the character modeling. And so what they do pretty much with these updates each week is just kind of show examples of what they're going through. So if you look at, here's one guy, they show his different animations of just sitting on the ground. His legs are broken and he's just sitting there doing different expressions. So, this is the kind of things that they do internally. But they do a really good job of just testing everything, because I've never run into issues, even though the content isn't always there. But what they do have done, everything works perfectly, and it's a very beautiful game. And I'm really hoping this game keeps growing, and it could be a lot of fun. It's a very unique game. If you haven't tried it, it's We Happy Few. Maybe go watch some people streaming it, or go on YouTube. You can see some gameplay. But the voice acting is beautiful. The art in it is very nice. The what you would probably see on YouTube is the intro scene. It's pretty much where the player comes in and you play through to a certain point. And that's what they showed at that one conference when they announced it. It's very well done. There's if they can get more of the game like that, this will be an excellent game. I just think right now it's kind of unfinished. So, but they don't claim that it's finished. So they're working through it. But yeah, that's We Happy Few. They do an update like this every single week. They have a lot of voice actors. They have a lot of cool art. So if you can go look them up. Here's some of what they're doing. They have one guy that does a ton of commercials, I guess, but that was part of the Kickstarter. They said if we make this much, they would do however many episodes of the show that you see inside of the game.
That's cool.
Kind of interesting. Yeah, they did a really good job of it. So yeah, that's We Happy Few. We pushed off. This is mainly the PAX, them talking about PAX, but there's a lot of stuff if you want to go read. They pretty much go through each department and discuss what they're working on. Now, this next one, I know you have.
Oh, yes.
An opinion on.
Let's talk about a game that we have not talked about in
a long time.
Quite some time. Hide and Hold Out. Wow, that's a name that I never thought I would say again. And wow, do I have some opinions on this. Hide and Hold Out is the under it's the Ark.
It's a water
It's
world
a,
type of.
it's Water Ark. It's I named it Water World H2O Water World. It is it's essentially Ark, but the premise is building things that are on the water. Building
You're pretty
bases
much
that are on
kind
the
of
water.
stranded on islands. Like the water level is risen.
Yes, and you make boats and stuff. There is land and there are planes and stuff too, but kind of the water aspect is the main part. Hide and hold out, H2O. That's kind of the whole thing. It's a multiplayer survival game taking place in a devastated water world. Great, fine and dandy, looks awesome. Well, this game dropped April 9th of 2016. That was about a year ago, or about a month, a month out. So 11 months ago, this game came out, and it looked promising. I believe we tweeted back and forth or emailed back and forth with the developer behind it as well. And then September of last year, it just stopped. The developer moved and.
So he didn't have internet at his new location.
Didn't have internet. So the last update we had was September 8th for Hide and Hold Out. And an update was posted yesterday from the developer. And I'm gonna read some of this here because I think it's interesting. This is now quoting from the article titled H2O Roadmap. Hey guys, it's been a while since my last post here, and I wanted to reassure you I've seen lots of people throwing, quote, dead game or stuff like that on the forums, and I wanted to ensure you that that is not the case at all. So I'm here to tell you what I think, what I'm doing, and what I expect from the next few months. And just kind of goes on with that and goes into the point where I've been working very hard on H2O during the past 6 months, even if I didn't release any updates during this time. And to be honest, even if I had some motivational failings sometimes for personal matters, these are sorted now, but I cannot hide it to you either. It happens, I guess, but that is not the point of what I want to say here. Going into, he was working on rewriting a huge part of the code, saying that it was the network communication that he was reworking, completely rewriting, saying that you're really not going to notice the difference on the front end because it's not visually, it's behind the scenes. But with that being said, with this update, I wanted to create something worth time to look at. Just going into this whole story about how they're working on the game. His current plan for the future is to be able to hire a team to work with him. He's confident that it's something like 5 guys working actively on the code. The game could become a real blast, but at the moment I cannot afford it. My goal is to reach a stage within the next few updates, and to achieve that I need to change my strategy. And as I told you, taking the time to make real change. Finally, I wanted to say that I'm sorry for those who lost faith in the game and therefore me, but the main point of this is to say I did not give up. It goes on, I love you guys, so on and so forth. Brian, I don't want to piss anybody off here. I don't want to make any enemies. And I also want to say I have never created a game, brought a game to market. I've never kickstarted an idea. I don't think you've kickstarted an idea unless it's something I don't know about. But so maybe we're talking out of touch here. But this game was greenlit, and this whole post is essentially saying I'm one guy. I don't have the resources to make this game. And I guess all I can say to this, with trying to put myself in the similar shoes, is then why did you put the game out for sale? If you knew you were unable to keep up with the amount of work and the amount of time it would take to continue developing the game, why was this game ever put on the market for people to buy? This is an $18 game, $17.99, an $18 game that was put out in April of 2016, in which one developer was unable to perform, and I get it. I'm sure making a game by yourself is not the easiest task. I'm not saying it should be easy. I'm not saying it is easy. But I sure as hell wouldn't make a game by myself, know I can't keep up with the work, and then sell it.
Green Man actually has a good point here. Why wouldn't he, if he's struggling and know he's not going to make, not be able to finish it, because he's he's struggling with the structure of it, let alone getting everything built on top of it. What if he made it as an Arc mod? Now that Arc is willing to pay for good mods, right? Why doesn't, because he could take this whole concept, release it as an Arc mod, and it would probably work just as well as the game he's trying to release.
Who knows? I mean, that would have probably been a good idea before they got this far, but
but how far is he? Really?
Well, I mean,
if he's rewriting the whole
he's rewriting
net code.
The net code, but the structure of the game I think works pretty well.
The net code's already done. Well, I mean,
who knows?
I knew they were struggling with hackers. I just think if he's got a lot of assets, he's got a lot of concept, you could build that into an Arc mod and just approach him and say, hey, here's something I'd like to build it under this. Would I qualify for your program? I think he would get farther because he wouldn't have to do all that extra work. He could build the game that he actually wants.
I am just very frustrated with this idea that and here's the thing. This game, Hide and Hold Out, is the reason people are skeptical of buying early and it's the reason I think that Steam pretty much canned the Greenlight program. Because they saw
specifically.
Well, no, games like this that come
like
out.
This one,
yes. No, I'm not saying H2O specifically, but games like Hide and Hold Out that come out, release an update, charge people and then just for 6 months disappear.
Yeah.
This is the reason that Greenlight was scrapped, in my opinion. This is the reason that myself and I know you too, Brian, and I know some members in our audience are very critical of early access games, and some people so drastically that they will never purchase another early access game because they have been screwed over by so many games so many times. And this post where the game isn't dead. I've been working really hard behind the scenes and life happens. I get that. I totally understand that, but don't release a game then. I mean, that's the easy solution here. If you don't have the time or the capacity to deal with developing the game by yourself, which again is not an easy task. I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying it should.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. But if you don't have the ability to do that, then how can you charge people $18 for a game that you know damn well you can't deliver on? And another part of this post is that you'll see what's going on when it's technically possible to show you. This isn't even an update. I will be back for another news with more precise and exciting stuff to show you as soon as technically possible. During this time, just stay patient. I'm doing my best on this. This game has been good for many people once, and there's no reason I couldn't do it. I could not do it again.
It sounds like he lost because it was two people working on it at one time. It sounds like they lost that second person.
Possibly.
From all the words, it sounds like it's one guy now.
Yes, it does say it's one guy.
I mean, it sounds like he needs to pick up additional people to help him.
Well, and he's saying he doesn't have the financial support to do that. But if you sold enough of the copies of this game, you should be able to pay somebody to.
Or you just say, hey, I'm willing to split this with a team if you guys are willing to put in the work to make it successful.
Yeah, it's just very, very disheartening to see this kind of response from a game that came out, released updates for a couple months, and then just disappeared. I just don't. This just puts a really bad taste in my mouth, Brian. And who knows? How long until we see an actual update?
I mean, he doesn't seem to be very promising on it. I mean, he just kind of says, as soon as I can, I will.
Which is not very.
I don't know. We'll find. I mean, it's kind of hard to say. He may put out something, but I don't think he's going to keep up with what people are wanting to see. I mean,
what do you do?
The concept originally was good.
What do you do though? Like, this is a tarnished name.
Yeah.
This name, the name of this game now gives a lot of people a sour taste in their mouth. Oh, Hide and Hold Out, great. The game that the developer just took my money and just disappeared.
Yeah,
it's essentially what it is.
But the thing is, if he switches to another one, I mean, the lucky thing is people don't like some games. People will put their name on it so much that it's like if they go to another project, goes with them. I don't think people would realize if he went and worked on something else and did it under a different, company name. I don't think anyone would even notice that he was doing something different. I mean, do you think you should just drop the whole thing and say, all right, well,
Personally,
try
I
to do
do.
better on the next one?
Personally, I do. Looking at there's 479 reviews total. 347 are positive, 206 are negative. And I can't imagine there's been any recent sales any sales recently.
Yeah. I can't imagine anyone who would when it's all the posters saying, hey, this game is dead. There's nobody playing.
Yeah. The most helpful review in the past 30 days on Steam. This one says, this was posted February 7th, so literally a month ago. This was fun and the 5.4 hours played. This was a fun little game, but as of today, February 7th, there has been an update since September. Don't waste your money. Yeah, I mean, that's a valid concern. And even to this day, you can make the exact same argument. There has not been an update. All there's been is a post saying there will be an update at some point. I wish this game would have never come out, and it would have just stayed in a stage, an early access stage, where he
working on it internally until
it was,
and then
ready
he
to go.
could have gone through these struggles without it being so public.
Yes, or do some type of unpaid beta like Battlegrounds is doing. You can't pay right now to play Battlegrounds.
Have people try it, find where the problems are, and say, all right, we'll come out with a paid alpha later, or whatever. Come out with something later that people can play.
And I get it. Battlegrounds is a little bit of a different situation because there's not really. You're not building in the game. The game is only at most maybe 40 minutes long per session or whatever. But I just really don't like the idea of charging somebody to play a game and then you just knowing you can't keep up with the work.
Yeah,
that's just really bugs me.
What he's trying to do is too much for one person.
Yeah, and I feel sorry for him, but shouldn't release a game if you can't keep up with the work because you've just screwed a lot of people now.
Yeah.
And that sucks.
Well, and that's probably a lot. Yeah, as you said, a lot of reason why they're getting rid of the green light in the way it was.
Yeah, because it just wasn't
making it much more difficult to release a game, which
is good, I guess.
Positives and negatives to that.
Brian and I maybe, I don't know, a month and a half ago, sat down and went, let's look at a couple of games that are on this green light list. Games that were greenlit.
And like the next day they.
But seriously, we looked at some of those green light games. What I mean, like 2D point and clicks, like where you're just clicking on blocks and then they just fall. Like I get it. Some people like point and click games. This is just like logos and just open clip art as your logo. Like it's just junk stuff that nobody was putting any time into, but because I believe the green light program.
And part of it could be some junior high kids putting together something, which great if you're learning, but that shouldn't be what Steam is being populated with.
Yes, and I believe it was only $100 to green light a game. Get the game in the green. And the problem is you can
make it more than what your parents are going to be willing to. Just for your intellectual satisfaction of being able to do it.
Well, that's the thing is
put it out of their range.
And I believe it costs something like maybe $1,000 to actually get a game on Steam if you're trying to self-publish it and you're not already in Ubisoft or Activision or some company that's already got a relationship.
And they take a decent chunk of each sale as well.
Yeah, but $1,000 barrier entry for you to here's the thing: if you don't have $1,000 to put into the game.
If you're building up a game you can't get it kickstarted or something, like
if you're building a game that you can't put $1,000 into, I don't have very high hopes that game is going to materialize into anything that is worth playing. As brutal as that may sound, it's the God's honest truth. Because at this point, at this point in time, there was zero barrier to entry. $100. That's it. $100 is what it took for you to get your game greenlit.
You
could scrape together $100. You could scrape together $100 in bottles at the bottle machine at the grocery store. I mean, $100 is not hard to come by. So that was just an issue with me. And I'm glad that's kind of been fixed. So
all right,
we'll see.
So. Happy news.
Well, it's not happy or sad. It's just the fact. Clearly, more was bitten off that can be chewed, and it puts a lot of people.
I mean, he was knowing what he was making. I know how much work it is, and he was doing well for a small team. But the thing is, you can only do so much by yourself if
Yeah.
you're trying to make a big project.
Yeah.
And you need to be willing to work with other people and make that happen. And it just sounds like they're not willing to work with other people and make it happen. They just want to do it themselves, which, you know,
It's just
you're
frustrating.
getting
Yeah.
what you're pretty much asking for at that point.
So that's hide and hold out. When there's an update, we will bring the latest to you. Let's scrap the Rust video and just push on. We can talk about the update though. There's a couple of things in here. Even if we end a little bit early, it's not the end of the world. Yeah, a couple of things in this update. Nothing crazy. There's some visible items.
So
they've been working on some of these things.
Yeah, they've been working on server performance. They changed up how the auto turret works a little bit. They said that auto turrets now scan more slowly when they are idle, instead of just snapping to a new location. So before they would,
second you were in range,
they see you there and it'd snap instantly and start shooting. And now they're kind of more slow and actually act more mechanical.
Yeah, like a sweep.
Yep, they do a sweep over. They reduced the cost of some items in game. So like the bucket helmet no longer costs a sewing kit, a little cheaper to make. Pump shotgun now requires 2 pipes, was 5 pipes, 1 spring instead of 2, and 20 high quality metal instead of 30. And then the pickaxes now requires 125 metal fragments rather than 150. And then they said they did a world update. So the month's wipe includes all of the works of the monumental overgrowth, number of updated foliage and building assets, various train generation fixes, and a bigger snow biome. And then, yeah, and they talk a little bit about that.
The snow biome,
foliage, wind improvements.
The snow biome is pretty cool looking.
Yeah, it looks good.
Pause it on the spot. That looks cool. I love the way how the barrel on the left hand side is, the snow is risen up to one of the rings on it. It's pretty. Yeah, which is nice. And
then they kind of show off some there have deployable lockers. Let's see. They are working on some wood armor, so they're putting in some of the low poly ones you can see in there right now. They show off
those don't actually look too low poly. Those actually look pretty high. If you look at just
he said he tried to keep it as low poly as possible.
Yeah, so it's a low poly version, but those are the high quality textures. If you look at the you can see the fraying on when you can see the fraying on the rope that is holding it together. You know that's a pretty, and you can see the ends of it fraying. That's a pretty cool looking piece of armor.
Yeah.
And obviously, there's not a whole lot of texture that will have to go. I just color it, tint it. Actually, as I would say.
So they've updated a number of the sounds. One thing they said is they're putting in a Dropbox. Dropbox will sit on your front door, enabling you to drop stuff inside. Yeah, but I'm not sure exactly. It's kind of like a mailbox.
Well, I think this is all part of, and I think I said this either last week or the week before. This is all part of kind of inactive trading and transferring items between players, because
no one in Rust seems to be able to come up to each other face to face without shooting each other.
Absolutely not. So they have the vending machines incorporated, in which you go to the vending machine, you sell your item, or you tell it to sell your item. Somebody comes up, buys your item, you get the money, they get the item. Simple. This is kind of the same thing. Somebody can now drop something in your Dropbox in a little secure compartment in front of your house, and then you're able to get it, because clearly a trading system is not going to happen. So again, I like this. I like this idea of making it almost like an NPC. It's essentially a passive NPC that's taking place for trading and just trading items back and forth, selling things. I really like that idea. Fallout does it really well with the vending machines and stuff too.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing here is it'll be interesting to see how people play it, because it's all about how it ends up being once people start using them. Yeah. Is that going to be the snipe spot where people are just going to hang out and take pot shots at people?
There is that threat, of course. I'm sure
it'll be interesting to see how they build this into the game and overcome that, or if that's just another kind of a troll technique people use.
Yeah.
Because right now there's a lot of troll in this game.
it seems like it's a majority troll. It is. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how something like this folds out. I don't personally. I like the idea. I like the concept. I'm not sure that this is the proper game for it to work. This seems like more like maybe a 7 Days to Die. And I think 7 Days to Die has a vending machine system that they're working on as well.
Yeah, they've got something they've got going in.
But it does. It is.
That's the thing is with it being this game, I just don't know if it's going to really be what they think it is.
Yeah,
or it's. I just never see anything used in this game as intended.
Yeah, and I'm I think we're on the same boat with that. It's a really cool concept. It's a nice idea, but it just doesn't. I just don't think it's going to work with the player base that Ark has. But we'll see. I hope I'm proven wrong because I really like the concept. I really like the idea. I think it's kick ass. We'll just have to see how the users interact and play with it.
Yep. So one thing you had put a note in here about the Black Death, and
I put this in here?
one thing. Well, maybe I did.
I think this is from a couple of weeks ago that you put this.
So one thing in here was I put a list and talking about because I put this on here just to show the frustration. If you look at how often they've done their patches,
yes.
So since about a year ago, up until now, they've done They've done 11 patches, maybe. There's one that was not even posted. So they've done 10 patches in a year, but nothing has been really big. Like these are all of their little patches, everything. And so I just wanted to kind of note that like this game, I don't know if it's going to go anywhere. It's kind of like, I guess it's kind of like hide and hold out. You go however long without any kind of a real update or change. And then you just get frustrated and say, well, I kind of give up on the concept that anything is going to happen.
God, why, Brian? Why does this happen?
And this is another thing with the whole Greenlight. This one was pushed by Green Man, not cartoons, but Green Man Gaming.
Yes, GMG.
Yeah. And this was one where they said, oh, we're backing this and da-da. And that's why I put some hope in it. I figured, this will probably be a good game. It's backed by, a decent company. And it's not even a playable game. And this is a year later, not anywhere near playable.
I have to wonder what do you think that we're excuse me, do you think that Steam, and I don't mean to blame Steam for all of my troubles, but do you think Steam has created this culture where anybody is a game developer and that anybody can just, download something like Unity?
There's the art,
Unreal.
There's a good amount of art in there. It's a good start to a game, but the problem is.
But you say that about every game.
But the thing is, they shouldn't have released it as early as they did.
That's the thing. Is
this is like the early internal alpha level.
Exactly, and I'm not calling you out.
This whole alpha, let's sell it. Let's make some money off of it is the frustrating part.
And that's my part. I'm not personally coming at you with this, but when you just said, "Oh, it's a good start. It's a first." That's my problem with these games.
They don't move back past that.
Exactly.
That's the problem.
Exactly. You hit the nail right on the head. They never move on past. Oh, well, that's a cool piece. That's a cool concept. That's a cool this. That's a cool that. Nothing ever happens with it. Here's the first step. Here's the first stage of our base system that's being implemented. No, it never transitions beyond the first step.
Yeah.
That's my frustration with these early access games. And it seems like specifically these survival games because they're so elaborate, right? And we want so much. We want a great PvP system. We want a great PvE system. We want an awesome base building system with customization to be able to do whatever we want. We want raiding. We want animals. We want all of this stuff. And it appears as of right now, Ark is the only game that has successfully, I think, done that. You could say Rust too. There's a lot of people playing it, so that's successful. Ark and Rust seem to be the only two games that have successfully captured, I think, what we as a survival community, I'm not speaking for everybody, but as a survival community, what we want. Is we want all
that
of
level
that stuff.
Of the game.
Yeah, and Ark does it. Ark is the spitting example, I think, of what is perfect about it.
Yeah. And that's why I say for some of those people, and I love the idea that Ark is, we talked about last week, paying for mods. Okay, all these developers say, I have a really good idea. Well, if you don't have the capability of making a ground up game like that, from the ground up, then consider making it a mod. I mean, Arc is incredibly flexible, and if you've looked at what they've been able to do in some of those mods, there's some games that have attempted to make something similar, and it doesn't run as well as a mod does in Arc. They could, his hide and hold out game, he could probably make something very similar that does all that stuff because it has all the components there. He can make it a mod. I think I would encourage people who are like, I want to put my hand at making a game. Well, try making a mod first. If you can't make a mod, then you probably can't make a game. And rather than, pushing it out there as a product that then you try to sell some and then you never end up making a game, see if you can make a good mod first.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, I don't know. I don't see it ever stopping.
There's a lot of understanding of blueprints and a lot of because these use Unreal, or if it's making 3D models, like there's all that stuff still goes into that, but the foundation is laid in Arc. Like all the stuff that's really the hard part is done. And then you can make on top of that. And if you can get something that does something cool, maybe they'll pay you to do it too.
Yeah.
Or if it's something just like with Battle Royale, if it's a mod that's so good, you could take that mod and turn it into a game like he's done.
Yeah,
he wouldn't have been able to make that game from the beginning if he hadn't have done it as a mod. He wouldn't have had the resources.
You make a great point there with Battle Royale, because that has literally come full circle. From a mod.
That's exactly what happened.
A mod to another mod. I think there was like 3 or 4 revisions of PlayerUnknown's Battle Royale, and it's now turned into Battlegrounds. It's its own game, its own thing. So it does work.
He didn't have the full ability,
or he just didn't want to
make a game, or because he wanted to do it by himself, which is fine, and he had the ability to get it as a mod because Arma was there. Arma did all the foundation. He put something on top of it that people liked a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you have a really good idea, if it's that good of an idea, it'll take off, regardless. As a mod.
Exactly.
Just an idea.
It's so frustrating. I feel like we spend half of this show just complaining, and I wish we didn't. But it's unfortunate.
There's so many games that have under-delivered is a lot of the problem.
Yeah. And we actually skipped right past this. We'll throw it up here quickly. There was one Arc update this week. They were at GD. Did you already do this?
No, we didn't.
Yeah.
I'm saying
we skipped right by it because it was one. They were at GDC. Unfortunately, they are not going to PAX, which I'm really bummed about. Really wanted to ride on that dinosaur. This was 255.3, and this was released today. Just 2 quick things in here. Optimized the task graph and RHI code for approximately 5 to 8% client-side performance gain and approximately 5% server performance gain. So that's good there. And then disabled loot giving for jump puzzle on the center. I don't know what jumping puzzle is. Is that a game or something?
So when you're in one of the caves, you have to be able to jump to get up to a certain place, and so it's like a jump puzzle.
Now,
I guess
no loot now.
So right now there's no loot for it, probably because people were taking advantage of that. But that's part of the things that they're trying to accomplish in game of inside of some of those caves. You'll have some areas that are difficult to jump up onto.
Yeah. So. And there you go.
But that was the only Arc, and they won't be putting out another patch for like 20 days.
No, I don't think I bet you they do.
I mean, I'm talking about like the major patch, the 256.
Yeah, they're going to have to probably push it then, because they're already at 2.5. They're already at 0.3, and they have 20 days to do another. So
yeah, so 22 days is what they're claiming they're going to put out 256 on.
And they do say, I shouldn't say they do say, it does appear that they're maybe going towards it seems like there's smaller updates now. I mean,
well, if you look at what they're promising for this one,
no, I mean during the week, like,
but even this, like, they're not making such huge, like for 256.
Okay,
it's not nearly as big as what the past ones were. Now they're doing it's very focused. They're doing a lot of the tech structures, tech caves.
But didn't it seem like a couple months ago every Arc update was like 25 bullet points and like a whole lot of detail. It seems like now, which is good. This is not me complaining. This is a good thing.
If it's getting polished.
And Greenman literally just stole the words out of my mouth in chat. I think this is Endgame coming to release. Exactly. They are fixing issues that are so. I mean, seriously, disabled the loot.
And they're finishing up the tech tier, which was something they released fairly recently. I think
that was the last update.
Cleaned up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I don't know what they're really going to do after this.
I mean, seriously, this is the update is a 5 to 8% client side performance gain and a 5% server performance gain, and the loot for a jump puzzle in one of the caves on the map. I mean, they've clearly fixed everything that needs to be fixed when those are the updates. I mean, That's a good thing. This is not me complaining. This is a good thing that they're at a point in time where they're fixing the most minuscule little things and turning off. I mean, they could have left this loot thing there wouldn't have mattered. How many people are doing that? So I like it. We are heading in the right direction. Launch is imminent with this game. It has to.
I mean, I think once they polish up the tech stuff, and they probably have a little bit of a backlog of dinosaurs or creatures that they want to get out. I think once they get that point, but if you look, like these latest ones are not so much dinosaurs. There's one of them in the new one that's kind of but it's like a big iguana. Because of the iguanodon. Other than that, it's like a zebra, there's a fish, and there's like a seagull type of thing, a bird. So I think they're kind of just getting some of the backlog of dinosaurs that they promised out, and going to a little bit less dinosaur-y stuff. And we've got beavers that we've had come out, like a lot of different kinds of animals. They're not all dinosaurs anymore.
Beavers are not dinosaurs. You heard it here first.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it's clear that they are at the end of the road, right? I mean, there's only so much you can do.
Do you think they're going to seem to fade off, or like what?
I don't think they're going to fade.
Release?
They're going to release, and then once they release,
and then what? Like that's mods.
Mods. I mean,
Focus on mods.
That's clearly the way they're going. The fact that they're the number $4,000 a month, I think was the number, something like that, $2,000, some $1,000 a month interval to work, and they're going to do 14 at a time. Yeah. At a time, they're going to have 14 people at $4K a month developing mods. They are clearly working towards something that is end game in terms of the early access. Is this beta?
Greenman is confirming not that it makes it true, but phase 2 new arcs. I mean, that's what I think. I think the mods are new arcs.
It's something they're going to do something that is going to involve this game coming to launch. This game, I mean, it's already on the Xbox, it's already on the PlayStation, it's already on the PC. And from everything I see, from everything I've read, from everything I watched, from everything I've played, it is as solid as can be.
I think most of this has all been technology stuff. Like, I don't think they really care about the hair. I think a lot of it's been, what do we need to do to get this technology into the game? Like, as far as the ability to grow hair, the AI and all these things. I'm kind of wondering if they're just leaving that up to the modders now. Like the game that we know as the island, is that going to be what we consider Ark in the future? Let's say a year from now. That's what I'm really curious is, what will Ark be a year from now? Because I feel like some of it was just most of it was just like, we need to have this stuff in here so we can test it. I feel like that's not even what they consider the game anymore.
Your guess is as good as mine.
I think that they're viewing it as, all right, the island is kind of its own thing, and that's what we run tests on. And I'm curious if, hey, we're giving you the modders every tool. Like, if you can have animals with hair, you can have all kinds of crazy physics. You've got laser beams, and you've got everything you can imagine in this game. Make whatever you can make. Everything is, imagine, what can you think of that's not really in this game?
No, there's not, but space travel is the only thing that's really left.
Yeah. That's pretty much it. Like, just short of you taking off in a rocket ship and flying into space, that's the point they've taken it to.
Yeah, there's laser. That's why I always joke laser beams and spaceships.
They could put a rocket ship, and it would be just as much it'd make just as much sense.
Yeah, they could put a space travel, and this game could be 10 times better than No Man's Sky right off the bat.
Yeah.
But seriously, they've done everything. They've done everything up to the point of space shuttle. Now, they could really, I'm sure, work on water and make that a larger part, kind of incentivize water
They are,
base.
but like they're putting in new mechanic, aquatic.
What about
and
jet
amphibious
skis?
Creature breeding.
Yeah, but what about jet skis and like none of that stuff is in there.
They haven't made okay. So they have all this tech stuff. What if they make a tech water craft?
Well, but tech water. But here's the thing: tech water is only available to the 1%, right? Most people are not getting
one
to
thing.
tech.
So new structures and mechanic tech underwater bases is going to be a new thing. They've got to come up with a way to go underwater consistently and at a decent speed. So maybe that'll be something that they put in, and in the next couple patches, is something that's not so much of a raft, and maybe not so much of an animal that allows you to go underwater.
Those
and
rafts
travel fast,
are the
like a submarine.
Yeah, a yellow submarine, that'd be great. Those rafts are the worst things to drive. Like, it's just you just hold W and just hope to God you don't hit something. Hit what's in front of you. But I guess at this point, space is non-existent, and water is very underdeveloped from what I've seen. There's no jet skis, there's no speedboat, there's nothing quick. There's just kind of those rafts.
Yeah, but you'll be around the water so fast. I think that's probably what they're trying to avoid. But you can fly so fast.
But that's the thing, is you've already got that, Brian. You can get from point A to point B on the fastest bird very quickly.
Bringing this back full circle, talking about, for instance, H2O, you could make a map in this as a mod that is mostly water and focus on that. And
I agree.
You can make the exact same thing as a mod very easily.
I agree.
May not be super, but if you know how to do that stuff, it would be easy to do.
Gotcha. All right. Let's move away from Ark. Let's talk about Unturned, and then let's wrap it up. I think we got to mostly everything we wanted to. We
skipped a little bit, but
we've. Do you have something else?
Should we do the game giveaway now? Should we announce it now?
Yeah, we can announce that now. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. All right. So for the next one, I'm going to be giving away a copy of Grav. I've got too many windows.
Copy of Grav.
Grav, is that all right?
Yeah, that's great.
Okay. So let's do a point raffle. It's going to be exclamation point giveaway. This is a survival game. We will do 50 points on this one. All right, so that is now open. So this will be Grav, so Grav. I talk about it. It's a survival game. It is a fun game. Let me get a link to it really quick so you can.
All right. And on that note, we will jump into Unturned. We're a couple weeks behind on updates. I'll go through them quickly here. 3.18.1.0. This was February 20th. The additions to this were hand gliders, the warboat, the skipper, and some other vehicles were added to that. Added the dead zone to Hawaii, which is their new map. Added the option to preferences to disable bloom lens dirt, which a lot of that bloom stuff bothers a lot of people. So that's good. Improvements: improved the volcano area on the Hawaii map. Improved to log asset capitalization differences to errors. A couple tweaks here. Tweaked the hovercraft shirt and the turn radius, and then tweaked the seaplane bumper size. That was 3.8.1.0. Those are the updates, and then a whole bunch of fixes along with that. And then 3.18.1.1, the additions to this were several minor Hawaii Ranger / military / Coast Guard locations were added, but those are minor, nothing crazy there. And then added an underwater facility to the dead zone. And then, of course, a whole bunch of other fixes. And him saying that he will be at GDC in San Francisco, which is now over with, I believe. And that's why there wasn't an update with that. And I would assume that's why there wasn't any updates, a couple of updates with Ark. And it was just kind of a slow week generally because everybody that is developing games goes to GDC because it's the PAX for game developers. It's all the techie stuff that they really care about. So it allows them to meet and do all that fun stuff. So with that being said, Brian, we've got our giveaway announced. Let's quickly go through. I've just got a couple games for current players, the same ones I covered last week. Nothing crazy here, and I do not have my soundboard, so Probably if you want to do like a little, you could do a little beatboxing in the background. That'd be great. Yeah, great. Currently playing H1Z1, King of the Kill, and Just Survive combined. Currently playing these 34,519. The 24-hour peak 91,370, and the 70 peak 101,687. That's pretty significant. Just Survive, numbers aren't great with this, though. Currently playing this 2,947, the 24-hour peak 5,700, the 7-day peak 6,886. And King of the Kill, I'll tell you, man, say what you want. A lot of people are playing this game. Currently playing it 31,572, the 24-hour peak 85,670, and the 7-day peak 94,801. This game is competing with Ark. Higher 7-day peak and a higher 24-hour peak than Ark. Currently playing this, Ark 35,116. The 24-hour peak 55,599. And the 7-day peak 75,093. Conan is slacking, and the numbers are just not great. There's a lot of issues with the game, and I think a lot of people, myself included, and maybe you too, Brian, are really not interested in jumping back into this game until things are really ironed out. Currently playing at 7,421, the 24-hour peak 12,162, and the 7-day peak 15,969. And that brings us current players. I really want to get into Conan, but I'm not sold yet. I'm just not sold yet. So we'll continue to track it. They're doing updates. It will be sorted out. They've got the Asian region servers up now. They're working on all that stuff. So hopefully they can recover from that kind of rough launch. But here's the thing. They've already got everybody's money. So if they recover or not player-wise, maybe irrelevant at this point. Who knows? But seriously.
I mean, they don't want to ruin their... No. The main issue would be they don't want to ruin the name that they built up for this.
No, definitely not.
And I think a lot of it's dealing with just figuring out this engine, hackers, and just consistently putting out not only bug fixes along with those content updates that they were talking about. And I think that's partially why they released that statement saying, hey, we're going to consistently try to release bug fixes. New content will be every couple months, new content will be every couple months. And then, Biome is just giving a realistic schedule. Because if they can stick to that schedule, people will get frustrated at times in between kind of the lulls. Mm-hmm. But I think once it hits that point, I think they'll probably make those estimates.
Yeah, for sure, without a doubt.
It's just frustrating in between. Like you're like, oh, look at all these hackers. Well, okay, they're going to put out an update for it in a week. That will probably fix those issues, and then you'll run into something else to complain about next week.
Exactly. Very short attention spans.
Yep.
So I guess we'll do. Do you want to do the giveaway now, and then you can do your tip of the week, or do you want to do it the other way?
We'll do tip of the week, and then we'll do the giveaway right after that.
All right,
tip of the week. So I go through and either talk about a specific game or maybe a gaming tip in general. This week I'm going to be talking about PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. So this is tip of the week. All right, in Battlegrounds, one important part is modifying your weapon, and this makes a big difference in this game. So they range from muzzle mods to grips, stocks, magazines, sights, and then they have items that are specific to different weapons. They also have a range of sights. So like for instance, with sights, you can have an ACOG, a scope, red dots. As far as specific items, they have, for the sniper rifle, they have a extended quick draw magazine, a compensator. Even for the crossbow, they have a quick draw magazine for that. And then bullet loops for the shotguns. One thing you will notice, they'll have for magazines, 3 variations of the extended magazine. So this will give you more shots to shoot before you have to reload. They have a quick draw magazine, which makes it so you have less shots, but it will do this reload much faster. And then they have an extended quick draw magazine, which is kind of a combination of the two. You have a magazine that it has more rounds in it, but also it will swap out faster. As far as stocks, right now they have a composite stock for the assault rifle, and then for the micro Uzi, which usually doesn't have any kind of a stock on it, they have a little wireframe stock that you can put on there. It helps a lot with stability when you're shooting. And then for the muzzle mods, most of those are flash hiders, so people will be less likely to see the flash from the end of your barrel. They have a shotgun choke and then a suppressor, which is usually used for pistols. And then finally, on here, this is something that once you bring all these elements together, you'll see that as you're running around, you'll pick up the weapons that you choose. There will be specific parts that will match yours. Once you have all of that built, it makes a big difference on the accuracy of the weapon, the amount of kick. One I guess quick tip in here: if you have a scope, if you have a sight, if you double right click, it will take you in the first person to where you're actually looking down the sight. It's not really noticeable, but if you have a scope or you have an ACOG or something like that, try double right clicking, and it should have you look down that sight. It makes a big difference. This is very accurate when you do that.
I love it.
Yeah, and they've got different grips. So kind of figure out, and this is part of playing the game and just learning it. Right now, you maybe have a bunch of extra parts in your bag that you're carrying around. But once you get to where you know it, you're like, okay, I need this piece. You'll know beforehand what pieces you need. So I think this is a really good system. It makes a big difference. It makes it so that not every single gun is the same, which you run into in similar games. So I encourage you to go try it out. I'll have a link actually to all the different mods. So I'll put that in my tip of the week notes. So if you want to go look, and then you can read up beforehand before the next public test. So maybe you'll have a little more of an idea what to look for when you're running around. So that's my tip of the week. He says it's not double click, it's fast click.
Yeah, whatever. You click twice, something happens.
Yep. Well, yeah, because it could be if you click too much of a space between it, it won't do it.
We'll just get a macro and then get banned.
Hold is third. Yeah.
That's a simple solution.
That's the H1Z1 way.
Yes.
All right. So do we want to go ahead and
yeah. This is a pretty big game right here. This is why you tune into your Infection podcast.
Yes, and this is our final giveaway before PAX. Hopefully, my big goal with PAX is to get a bunch of codes.
Good luck.
To give away.
Hey, we constantly rag on games on the internet. You want to give us a code so we can ridicule you?
I mean, that's the thing is there should be, being that we're media in this, we're press. They should be willing to give us some codes to give away. So we'll have to see what we can do. All right, Saul Greatman.
Saul. Hey, Brian, I bought Crusader Kings this afternoon. It was on sale, so hopefully
it is a fun game.
Unfortunately, we'll not have a chance to jump in pre-PAX.
And I would say throw it on a laptop, but it's actually pretty resource intensive because of how many calculations it's doing.
I'll throw it on my laptop, and then maybe you can.
It might be a fun game to
walk me through.
Yeah,
Lance conned me into, for whatever reason, I'm bringing my PlayStation now and some fighting games. No, I mean, I don't play fighting games. You don't play I don't know who the hell he thinks he's going to play fighting games.
Lance is the only one who plays fighting
games. But it's whatever. We're going to have
himself, and we'll go get some dinner.
We'll have Marvel vs. Capcom, or have some Street Fighter, whatever he wants. I'm here to please. So that is happening.
So he'll be. He just wants to beat us in the type of game we never play. He's so much better than you guys. Not that he would say that. That's what he'll be thinking.
Yeah. Exactly, PH. He will be playing those by himself. I don't even remember where I was going to get. Solo versus AI. Yeah, a lot of fly all the way up the East Coast to play solo versus AI. Exactly. What a great use of time.
We'll see you later, Larry.
Yeah.
I'm going to be here all weekend playing.
Glad we got those media passes. Brian, you got any final words before PAX? Are we missing anything? Are we all set?
I think we got it all. I got a new battery for my laptop.
Oh, nice.
So it's a extended. This is the old one. Like, it wouldn't hold a charge, like it says, but it goes up to 1 dot.
Yep.
Second you unplug the laptop, it would just die. So I got a nice 11 cell or whatever battery.
Put Ubuntu on the laptop because you're a hacker,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I gotta show some credit. Not that Ubuntu for me, I just don't want to run like a pure command. If I were really
running a Ubuntu server on your laptop.
From my laptop, I only do command line.
So you do nothing, is what you're
Watch me
saying.
do text-based web browsing.
Yeah, watch me completely
Which
waste
doesn't
my
exist.
life. Yeah, yeah. He's been
anyways.
holding the battery. Yes. Where can people find you online?
Yeah, if you want to find me at Boise Computer on Twitter, or you're more than welcome to go to my blog, biteoftech.com. If you are looking to find us on the internet, a good way to find us would be on Discord. If you go to infectionpodcast.com on the right-hand side, you'll see Discord and then click connect. That will take you through the steps of either getting Discord installed, or it will connect you to our Discord. After that point, you'll be a member of it. You don't have to worry about it anymore. Just make sure it's launched. That'll be probably a place where we'll be talking to people from our phones. It's got a really nice mobile app on it.
Free.
Yep, and it's totally free.
Unlike TeamSpeak.
Also, we have Also, we do have our Steam group if you're looking for notifications for our Friday night game nights, for when we do our live broadcasts. I encourage you to go there. Just join our Steam group. Also, it is free, and we do a minimal amount of spam on it. And then make sure you follow us on Twitter. So maybe if you're a person who listens to this or just watches on Twitch, make sure you follow us on Twitter so that you can get some cool notifications of what is going on. Yeah, like what I pinned. So you can see what's going on while we are at PAX. So we'll be making sure to do some posts and kind of show some cool things that we see there.
Yes, the Twitter is the big one. You have to follow us on Twitter, especially this week. We're going to be posting tweet. Brian's got it on his phone. I'll have it on my phone. Maybe we'll get it installed on Lance's phone. We'll be posting updates, pictures, videos. We're going to have a lot of fun, and we hopefully can bring all of that content to you as well. Again, a huge shout out to everybody that is making this trip possible, that came in with donations, of course, through the Brian Beard contest, the No Shave November contest. Thanks to everybody that made that possible. We really do appreciate it. We genuinely do.
That was a lot of fun. And
yes.
that was very nice. I mean, to think of over time, we've gotten that many donations. That's really cool.
Yes, we've built a great community. You guys are the best. We will be here, though, next Tuesday, live on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Infection Podcast. It's going to be the PAX recap show. It's probably not going to be structured. Who knows what's going to happen. And then, of course, look forward to the special edition of Infection that's going to take place from PAX, and then of course the video interviews. Subscribing on YouTube is also going to be pretty important as well, because we're going to be editing and uploading those videos to YouTube, the interviews with the developers and the different companies. So you're going to want to subscribe to us on YouTube. All of the links for all of that stuff are on our website, infectionpodcast.com. After PAX, we've got a couple interviews lined up for the coming months. We'll be announcing those after PAX, though. I think that's it, Brian. I think we have hit all of our stops. I look forward to finally meeting you.
In person.
In person,
After
Tuesday.
how many? It's been a lot of years.
It's been 2017. It's been since like 2012, I think. Google Plus 2013. It's been a long time. So we'll be,
I think it was before that.
Maybe, who knows?
Do you remember when I got married?
No, I wasn't invited.
I know you weren't invited, but I'm wondering.
No, I don't. I don't think I knew you before you were married.
Okay, then it was probably right about then.
Yeah. There we go. Alrighty, folks. That is going to do it. Thank you for tuning in for another episode of Infection. We'll see you after PAX. Have a great week, everyone.